Alright guys, came down to the shop today and Dad's letting me use his lift because it's a lot more accessible and there's nothing in the way. So you can see the car's on the lift, we're going to get it up in the air, look underneath it and see what needs to be done. I'm definitely changing the oil today and going to kind of see what all needs to be done. So let's get it up in the air. Well, first thing I see is there's definitely some oil leaks, which we knew. I'm really hoping it doesn't look like it's the rear main seal, thank God. But there's some leaks. Everything else is good. Now we know what the smell is. We'll start from the back, I guess. Nice dual exhaust. The exhaust is actually in really good shape. It almost looks like it was like stainless, but a little bit of rust, a little bit of leak back here. With one of these axles, it probably has a dirty vent, if I had to guess. That would be my first place to check. There's a little vent up on the top up here, which I can see. I'm going to try to go for it here. Let's see. Let's go up through here. Where is the vent? There it is. It's not really dirty. It might have a little bit of dirt, but it moves. So if you guys didn't know, there's a little vent on these differentials that they can get dirty and crowded up. You can kind of, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there's a little spring in it. It allows the diff to vent any kind of pressure once it gets a little warmer. And what can happen is it can get clogged up with dirt, and it won't allow the pressure out, so then it starts to push pressure out the seals. This one's sweating just a little bit. It's not too bad. Everything looks pretty good back here. Not a whole lot of rust, a little bit of rust on the heat shields and stuff, but that's not a big deal. No real rust on the car, thank God. This is great. Even the exhaust flanges don't look too bad. You can see this thing is just so stock underneath. The transmission's not leaking. Do definitely have some leaks. As you can see, it's all pretty squishy under here, but you know, it's not too bad. Could very well just be stuff right here. It almost kind of looks like I don't even know where it's coming from. I'm gonna look around a little bit, maybe drop this splash pan, but see, this thing actually has like big like scoops for the brakes. Look how big those are. That's really cool. The intercooler is basically right here. This is a front sump engine. So this thing is really interesting. Some of these I think had like a stabilizer bar. I just happened to just notice that in some of the pictures online when I was looking. But the rack is solid mounted, which is very interesting. It's not something I would have expected, but I'm going to see. That might actually be the lines here. That almost looks like... Oh, it kind of looks like power steering fluid. Doesn't smell like oil. Might be power steering stuff, so... Not really sure. We're going to take a look, make sure these lines aren't hurt, and go from there, change the oil. So, put you guys down. Alright, took the cover off with Dad's help. Looks like we got a couple little leaks. Nothing too bad though. The lower oil pan might be leaking a little bit. Looks like the front crank seal, you know, typical stuff. I think the oil leak over here is actually the oil filter. So we got a new one of those. I think the other thing we might be having a little bit of is a power steering leak from one of these lines over here, which, you know, worst case, I can always make, you know, a different type of line, since obviously they're not going to be really available over here. But got a little water leak coming from this hose, and what's crazy is I don't see a water leak right now, so we might just end up rebuilding that pump that's up in there that does everything. And the oil leaks over here aren't what I thought, or what I guess I was guessing at, but I did get new rubber lines for the turbos, so potentially we'll change those. I got a new thermostat, which is up in there. I can tell you guys, this thing is cramped. You guys can see right there is the charge pipe that comes down. Those lines right there, here, are for the cooling fan. So it uses, it's hydraulically controlled. Other charge pipe over here is flat. So kind of interesting. Over here you got like where the radiator mounts, and that's the difference right there on between the Supra and the Aristo. They're basically the same shape, except for you got to mount there and there instead of further out like over here and over here, which doesn't look like that big of a deal. So maybe I'll just, it might be a little easier than I thought. I don't know. We're going to check it out. We're going to drop the oil. See a little bit of crusties around that. Probably needs, actually I see it's a little bit wet almost.
I wonder if that's been leaking through the middle.
I think it might
Sometimes,
be.
wouldn't that be great if
so
that's where the water's coming from?
Might have to get some hoses for this thing, but that's not a big deal. Those are available. They'll be very similar to the Supra. So I'm going to drop this oil, change this oil filter. I'm going to put the camera down again, but yeah, it gets kind of messy with these JZ. I'm going to hose this thing down, get it all cleaned up so we can get a better idea. Guys, so what we've decided to do is leave the lower cover off because we can't really see where it's leaking water, but it looks like it could be just the hose. So what I might end up doing is getting like a silicone lower hose and maybe making something for the top so it looks fancy, or maybe I'll just get silicone hoses top and bottom, give it a try. Maybe I'll just get a factory hose, not really sure. I'm gonna lower it down, put oil in it, bag up the screws, maybe take the plastic and put it downstairs. But yeah, down it goes. Well guys, that's first oil change. Like I said, we left the cover off, which Dad moved. I don't know where it went now, but first oil change is done. I do like to run like a Rotella type 1540 in these, so like diesel oil basically. That allows for a little bit of you know, extra insurance for these things. You know, we are putting them under a lot of stress being turboed and everything. You can see they actually recommend 1030. I like to go with a 1540. I've always done that in my JZs, even if they were NA, just because, you know, we're not nice to these things. So I got that done. You guys can, intake's doing good. I still need to make the box for it, but yeah, I polished the headlights a little bit. That was another little thing. I started working on this, which is a really neat, like dark green color, but somebody has done something, and I don't know, hopefully it's not permanently stained. I'm going to try to take some like compound and the polisher and stuff to it, because I definitely want to keep this the original color. It's all chrome in here, and you can see where the valve covers are a little bit corroded and stuff. So one of the big things that we're going to be doing, along with just some general maintenance, is pulling the valve covers off, and I'm going to, you know, paint them, and then I'm actually going to utilize the Radium Engineering has a press-in -10 conversion, so it's like you don't have to weld anything anymore. They've engineered it to where you just pop out the factory stuff, you pop out the grommet for the factory PCV valve, and then you press in a -10 banjo fitting. So that's really cool. I'm excited to use those. I've always had to weld things or tap them, so my drift car has been tapped. And then on Michael's Supra, I welded in a -10 ORB bung, and then he used a -10 banjo fitting, which has worked great for him. It's a little more clearance on everything, but if I can just press it in there, I'm definitely going to do that while I take everything apart, because that's going to be the best time. I want you guys to tell me in the comments below, what color should the valve covers be? Should I just restore them back to like a silver, slightly darker silver? Should I match them to the car? Now keep in mind, that center plug cover is going to continue to be that like green, dark green color. So what color do you guys think we should paint the valve covers? I am going to restore them. I'm going to clean them all up. I'm going to spray them. They will be painted, not powder coated. I like to paint things because I like to do it myself, and I don't powder coat. So that's going to be one of the next projects. Again, I'm just going to start taking things off that I can take off at the house, clean them up, and just kind of not really restore the car, but kind of OEM plus feel. So that's coming up. If you guys want to tell me what colors you think the engine bay should be, let me know in the comments below, or come tell me on Instagram, whatever. I might do a poll on there, so jump over to my Instagram. Check that out. Watch for a poll for what color the valve covers should be. Really enjoyed working on this thing with my dad today. Nice to, you know, just be together and kind of spend some time on this car. You know, we don't get to do as much together anymore now that I have the boys, but, you know, when you got a day that the kids are at home, and Lauren is cool with me getting out of the house, I'm going to take it, spend some time with Pop, and I'm never going to pass that up. So I'll see you guys soon. Kind of a short video, just a little update on the car, kind of see underneath. That was my first time being underneath the car as well. So as I figure stuff out as far as what's leaking, I'll let you guys know, because you guys will be seeing it. Dad, what'd you think about the car?
Good. Everything looks good. I mean, I'm hoping that water leak is that hose.
Yeah, I think...
Sometimes they leak from within themselves through the strings, you know, that hold the hoses. The original hoses last forever, and I've seen them leak through the hose itself. You see these little strings at the end. It's what holds the rubber together. That's what it looks like to me. So we're going to leave the cover off, the bottom cover, the aero cover, and then when it leaks again, being that it's so intermittent, you can see where it's coming from. I don't think it's the water pump.
Well, hopefully we luck out here, guys. I've got everything to rebuild the water pump, so it's fine. But I'll let you guys know here soon. Stay tuned. More Aristo content's coming. Maybe we'll get the SC out and the Aristo and have them just, you know, together for a little photo shoot and stuff, because they've not met yet. They need to meet. So, see you guys soon.